Hi everyone, I am Dr. Rani Kommidi, working as a contract lecturer in Government Degree and PG College, Siddipeta. Today we are discussing about the phytohormones. The subtopic is gibberellins. So I told that earlier topic what are the phytohormones and types of phytohormones, and we see the earlier studies of that auxins. So auxins, what is auxins and which cause to physiological effects of the plants, and what is the major role of the auxins. So today we are discussing about the gibberellins. Gibberellins, generally earlier studies we are discuss about the types of phytohormones, that is auxins, cytokinins, gibberellins, abscisic acid and ethylene. So in these five types, above three types are the plant growth regulators. Growth regulators are auxins, gibberellins and cytokinins. So plant inhibitory substances are abscisic acid and ethylene. So that's why auxins topic is earlier studies we are discussed about yesterday, and today we are discussing about that gibberellins. What are gibberellins? The gibberellins are a group of plant hormones. They can responsible for growth and development. Generally, chemically, gibberellins are actually acids, acidic in condition. So acidic state. They are produced in the plant cells. Plastids are the double membrane bound organelles. They can responsible for making food and are eventually transferred to the endoplasmic reticulum of the cell. So generally where they are modified and prepared for use. That's why gibberellins are a group of plant hormones. They can responsible for growth and development. Generally the history of the gibberellins, these hormones were first identified in studies of a disease of rice plants. So gibberellins they were first identified in studies of a disease of rice plants, that is the Buchanay disease, and it's well known, we can call it as the foolish seedlings disease. Buchanay foolish seedling disease. So it is caused by the fungus. Which fungus? Gibberella fusicori. The vernacular name of that fungus, Gibberella fusicori. The botanical name of that fungi is Fusarium heterosporum. So that's why the Buchanay disease is caused by that fungus. The fungus is Gibberella fusicori. And the diseased seedlings grow, it's very tall and consequently fall over, and sometimes they devoid of fruit also. So this disease is first affected by that fungus, that is Gibberella fusicori. So that's why the plant is look like a very thin and tall. So foolish seedlings are Buchanay disease. We can call it as that Buchanay disease. Generally in 1926, a Japanese plant pathologist first time discovered that disease, but in 1926 he is a Japanese plant pathologist that named is Kurosawa. Kurosawa showed that a culture filtrate of the fungus. So when is applied to healthy plants, it induces the same growth responses as the fungus itself is diseased plant. So the fungi Gibberella fusicori is caused which disease? Buchanay, foolish seedling disease. So it is generally first time discovered that in 1926 a Japanese plant pathologist named Kurosawa. Just to, so in 1930, T. Yabuta and T. Hayashi, These two members are isolated and identified an active compound which they are called gibberellin. So, West and Finney in 1956 reported that gibberellins are also found in higher plants also. Since then other workers have confirmed the presence of gibberellins or similar compounds in algae, bacteria, fungi, moss, gymnosperms and angiosperms. But they are restricted to only certain species of bacteria and fungi. So, in contrast to auxins and cytokinins, they are found a variety of gibberellins in the same plant. Whereas in auxins and cytokinins, one principal kind predominates in most plants. In general, gibberellins are concentrated in rapidly growing and developing regions of the plant. The plant parts are root, shoot apex, young leaves and embryos and endosperm of the developing seeds. So the seeds have been reported to contain highest level of the gibberellins. Which parts? Seeds. The plant seeds, they can have been reported to contain highest levels of the gibberellins. Young leaves as compared to old leaves and mature stems contain more auxins. So that's why the gibberellins generally they are highest level in seed part only, the seeds of the plant part. So this is the general history of the gibberellins. Gibberellins discovered by Kurosawa. You can see that slide. Discovered by Kurosawa. He is a Japanese plant pathologist. It is discovered in 1928 only. Rice plants infected by that fungus, that is the Gibberella fusicori. So the botanical name of that Fusarium moniliforme or Fusarium heterosporum. So these two synonyms of that fungi, they can show excessive stem elongation. So the stem part is very weak and look like a tall growthing. That's why its excessive stem elongation we can call it as that Buchanay disease. The symptoms generally, the gibberell's effect of the symptoms is called Buchanay disease. Buchanay disease. The fungus, which fungus is caused that the symptom is Buchanay. So that's why it is called as the Buchanay disease. Chemical was extracted and purified and named as gibberellic acid. That is the GA. GA is gibberellic acid. It is extracted and purified, named as that gibberellic acid. Generally, chemically gibberellins are acidic forms. That's why we can call it as the gibberellic acid. Now, 80 different gibberellins are available. That is GA1, GA2, GA3, GA4, GA80 or GA to the power of N. So, that's why now 80 different gibberellins are available in general plant pots. So, the most commonly occurring gibberellin is the GA1. It is very natural, most commonly present in higher plants. So, that is the GA1. GA1 is the natural gibberellic acid. Remaining majority of the gibberellins are synthesized by some chemical. That's why, so this is GA1 is the most commonly occurring gibberellin is the GA1. So the chemistry of the gibberellins, presently there are more than 50 known gibberellins. So we can see that 80 chemically they are the acidic forms, gibberellic acids, that have been isolated from different source of the parts. So different source. The chemical structure of these phytohormones shows that they all possess a common feature, the gibbonine ring skeleton, and whose biological action is characterized by a powerful stimulation of the growth. That is the cell elongation or cell division, either cell elongation or cell division or both of the actions. So this is of certain dwarf mutants only. So the known gibberellins are assigned numbers always with the prefix A. Always they can show the with prefix of that A. Hence we have gibberellic A, gibberellin A2 and so on. So with gibberellic acid called gibberellin A8 or A3 also. They are abbreviated as a GA1, GA2, GA3 etc. of the numbers GA80, GA50. They differ from one another in the degree of saturation of the ring system. And the types and position of the substituents also different. So this is main chemical of the gibberellins. And action of gibberellins, the most striking hormonal effect of gibberellins is promotion of stem elongation, genetic dwarf. Generally the plants treated with gibberellin become tall. So gibberellins, plants treated with gibberellins, it become a tall. In addition, they also affect tropic responses, release birds from dormancy, accelerate seed germination, usually increase apical dominance. So it can be induced parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpy means seedless fruits. So they can promote flowering of long day plants, accelerate abscission of the plant parts, etc. So these reactions all are very differ from plant parts. So the most striking hormones effect of gibberellin is they can promote the stem elongation. Genetic dwarf plant treated with gibberellins, it become a very tall. In addition, they are also affect tropic responses, release buds from dormancy, accelerate seed germination, usually increase apical dominance. So these main all are actions affected by that only gibberellins. So this is the main gibberellic acids of the physiological effect. So gibberellins are, this is the class of plant growth regulators. They regulate which promote internal elongation and flowering also. This is the main physiological effect of the gibberellins. These are the plant growth regulators. They can promote internodal elongation and flowering. Chemically they are diterpenoids. So in earlier studies we can say that it is only acidic forms, that's why we can call it as the gibberellic acid. And chemically they are diterpenoids. So the Japanese plant pathologist Kurosawa reported that Bakane foolish seedling disease in rice was due to the fungus, that is the Gibberella fusicorae, we know very well. The infected seedlings were, they can look like a tall and thin. And Yabuta sumiki, they can isolated gibberellin in pure crystalline form and named it as a gibberellic acid. First time proposed the name of gibberellic acid by who are they? Yabuta and Sumiki. Yabuta and Sumiki first time isolated gibberellin in pure crystalline form and they can named it as the gibberellic acid. So gibberellins are synthesized in the which parts? It is synthesized in the apices of the immature leaves. So they are present in high concentration in fruits and germinating seeds also. Gibberellins are mainly, they can translocated through xylem. So they are synthesized from acetyl coenzyme A. So they are mainly translocated through xylem. Xylem means the main function of the xylem is it is translocation by water only. So water conducting tissue is xylem. That's why the gibberellins are all mainly associated with water and they can translocated through the xylem only. They are synthesized from acetyl CoA. The precursor and the precursor of that gibberellic acid is the acetyl CoA. Gibberellic acid synthesized from acetyl CoA. Generally the physiological effects we can see, this is you show the slide is Bakane, just like Poaceae family member. The plant is look like a very thin and elongation. So this is functions of the gibberellic acid. As per that we can see first of all physiological effects. So the gibberellins show their effect on complete plant. It's not only permit to the one part of the plant, they shows their effect on whole plants. So they do not have any effect on cut parts. Some physiological effects of gibberellins are stem elongation. Earlier we can say that point. So stem elongation. The stem elongation, it's induced by gibberellins. They can promote internodal elongation in several plants. Gibberellins promote internodal elongation in several plants. They promote stem growth by activating the subapical meristem of the stem tip. So that's why they can promote the internodal elongation. The dwarfism in plants is due to low concentration of gibberellins. So if gibberellins are applied, the dwarf plants grow to normal size. In rosette plants like cabbage, carrot, etc., the stem is short and condensed with crowed leaves also. So the internodes are very short. They elongate before flowering. The elongation of internodes prior to flowering is called bolting. The main action of the stem elongation, it's due to the bolting. What is bolting? Bolting means the elongate before flowering. Generally internodes prior to flowering is called bolting. So application of gibberellins induced bolting in these plants. Just bolting means the stem part is suddenly, the stem is elongated with the maturity of the plant. With the flowering stage of the plant, the node and internode parts are very elongated. That's why it is called as the bolting. The elongation before flowering, elongation of internodes, they can prior to flowering is called bolting. So this is bolting is the main physiological effect of that gibberellins, that is the stem elongation part. And second one is that flowering. Flowering means the long day plants, it can require a longer day light period of for flowering. So in these consequences, gibberellins induced flowering in long day plants during short days. Cabbage, తర్వాత generally rudbeckia, some plants they require cool winter nights prior to the flowering. So in these plants, the gibberellins induced flowering in such plants substituting the cold treatment also. So they can stimulate, gibberellins all are stimulate the flowering of the two plants, mainly long day plants and some of the short day plants also they can induce it to the flowering of the two physiological effect. So third one is the seed germination. Seed germination means generally the gibberellins they can promote the germination of cereal grains such as barley. You can show the slide, barley seed germination. So they can promote the germination of cereal grains such as barley and rice. So these gibberellins are known to induce enzymes like amylase, protease, lipase at the onset of seed germination. So and they can break the seed dormancy also. This is the main function, main physiological effect of the gibberellins is the seed germination. So they can promote the germination of the especially for Poaceae family members, the cereal grains, barley, rice. So in these family members, the gibberellins are to induced enzymes like amylase, protease and lipase. So it on the set of seed germination and break the seed dormancy. These enzymes will be useful in mobilization of the stored nutrients. These enzymes they can useful in mobilization of the stored nutrients also. So this is the seed germination. And next one is the parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpy means generally parthenocarpy gibberellins they can promote the development of parthenocarpic fruits in tomato, apple, almond, etc. So in these plants they can promote the development of the parthenocarpic fruits. So the size of the fruit and almonds, they can also increased due to gibberellins treatment. When we apply the gibberellic acid in that fruit part, their size also very increase. So that's why it's induces, it's promote the parthenocarpus fruits also. And we can said that earlier, breaking dormancy also. So seed germination and breaking dormancy, these two are interconnected to the two physiological effects. The dormancy in birds and seeds, they can impose to during unfavorable environmental conditions. The dormancy in birds and seeds, they can impose it during the unfavorable environmental conditions. Gibberellins break dormancy in birds and tubers. Gibberellins, they can promote the breaking dormancy in birds and tubers. So dormancy induced by darkness in lettuce and high temperature in apple and peach, they can be broken through the gibberellic action. So that's why the gibberellins are, they can promote the breaking of the dormancy also. And next one is the leaf expansion. Leaf expansion means the gibberellins are sprayed on plants, their leaves. We can spray the gibberellic acid on the leaves of the plant, they become expanded. Just like the leaf lamina, this small size of the leaf lamina is just larger to the when we apply the gibberellic acid. So gibberellins, they are sprayed on plants, their leaves become very expanded. It results in an increase of the total photosynthetic area and biomass. So the leaves, generally the leaf lamina is very large size, the photosynthetic rate also we can more, and photosynthetic rate also very high rate of the photosynthetic rate is occur. That why it is increases of the total photosynthetic area and biomass. And next one is the formation of adventitious roots. Adventitious roots, generally the gibberellins, they can inhibit the formation of the adventitious roots from the cut ends of the stem. So this is adventitious roots, they can inhibit the formation of the adventitious roots. And some of the other effects also, the gibberellins obtained from fungal culture will be used in fruit setting, that is the grape bunches, and also for growing seedless fruits. In brewing industry, gibberellins is used to stimulate amylase activity in barley seed. So we can say that this point is covering in the seed germination part also. So in brewing industry, gibberellins is used to stimulate amylase activity in barley seeds. So this is also known to enhance the malting of barley grains. So this is generally physiological effects of the gibberellins. So you can see the stem, first stem elongation, after that seed germination. This is the GA3, gibberellic acid. And we can, the functions of the gibberellic acid, nothing but physiological effects of the gibberellic acid: cell enlargement and cell divisions in subapical meristems, first one. Second is the growth in stems, fruits and leaves also. And third is the stem and leaf expansion. Fourth one is the fruit development and expansion. Fifth one is the stimulation of flowering. Sixth one is the cell division in some tissues. Seventh is the dormancy and senescence. Eighth one is the seed germination. So these are the main functions of the gibberellic acid. That's why it is very important phytohormone of the total plant hormones. So these auxins, gibberellins and cytokinins, these three are the growth promoting hormones. So these are very important to the growth regulators to in the plant parts. Remaining to abscisic acid and ethylene, these two are the growth inhibiting hormones. So this is also in some conditions very useful to the some of the consequences of the plant growth and regulators. So this is the very important class of the gibberellins. Mainly what is gibberellin and what are the history of the gibberellins, and generally physiological effects of the gibberellins and functions of the gibberellins. So thank you very much.